Thanks for stopping by Social Studies Samurai. In this video, we're going to show you how to create a great slide presentation that engages and interests your audience. Because that's what we want, right? Okay, so you've chosen a slides presentation for your in-class presentation on current events or history, geography, or maybe you're going to do some screencasting, or maybe you're a teacher and you're going to screencast for your students or present. Here are some things that you should think about so that your slides are not only good, but that they're not simply good enough. First off, think about why you're creating a slides presentation in the first place. Well, you should be thinking that I want to tell a good story. People love good stories, so treat it like one. You can organize your information into these small little bite-sized chunks so that it's easier for the audience to follow you and your story. Things like images, video, audio, multimedia, they can support understanding as you tell your story. And you can engage and focus your audience. Again, we love a good story. Use your slides to do that. And as the presenter, you get to choose the pace that the audience follows along with your story. So, think about this. Is this your slide? Do you have random text colors and fonts and random sizes with formatting like underlines that go into spaces that should be blank? Do you have a ridiculous amount of text like long sentences? You should be using short phrases. And do you have irrelevant images placed randomly around in random slides all over your presentation? Don't get me wrong, kangaroos are cool, but in this case, the picture is irrelevant and my audience would not see it with that size anyway. If you're doing these things, your slides are probably inconsistent, too long with too much text, distracting, irrelevant, like that kangaroo, and ultimately probably very unappealing to your audience, and we certainly don't want that. Here is an example of a decent slide. It's history, so there's kind of a lot of text on it, but there's enough text to remind me of what to say and elaborate on my story. I've got two images that are nice and big so people can see them, and if I was showing this to other people in a smaller platform, they can see that I'm academically honest and where I got my images. So let's focus on the basics here. Research first and create your slides deck later. If you do this, as you research, you're going to find images and videos and things to get a feel for the theme or the topic that might best support your story. You're going to get ideas for an effective color scheme and formatting as you collect your images. If they're mostly black and white, that'll give you an idea. You have the chance to save your images and save your text sources and anything that you might do as you research. So when you go to put your works cited and bibliography and all the linking in, it's going to be a lot easier. And by doing that, you are going to save time. That is so important, right? So think about how you can make your first slide powerful. This isn't your title slide. This is the first slide people are going to look at. Can you capture their attention and get them to think, that looks interesting? Ideally, what you want to do is hook people so that they think, whoa, tell me more, you've got me, I'm hooked, I want to learn. So does the first image capture your audience's attention? Really think about that. No, the image on the right side is really not that engaging. But this image is. If this was my first image, questions would be like, what is that? Where is that? Who is that? Why is that person underwater? Who sculpted it? How long has it been there? Does it have any religious significance? This image is interesting and it captures the imagination. That's what you want to do. So, in doing all of this, think about these things. You want to be consistent. Have your fonts and colors and sizes and formatting consistent so that they are not sloppy and rushed. When you're consistent, your story looks connected. People can follow it along with it nicely, and it's more enjoyable. So I recommend that you start with small font sizes as you construct your slides, because you can always make them bigger a little bit later and make them consistent. If one slide has, a lot more text, then you can use that slide to gauge your font sizes for every other slide. You can create a few slides in the beginning, and later on you can just copy and paste as you go through, and then you already have your template. You can keep all your images, your text boxes and all that neatly aligned. Really think about that. You don't want images in the left and on the right and in the middle and big and small. Make them as consistent as you can. They don't always have to be the same, but look for consistency. And you can always resize those images, right? This is Google Slides, for example. Go ahead and do that. Less text, more images. So some more image tips. Use your slides as a set of reminders. Images will remind you of things, and so will short little clips of text. If you have too much text, the audience gets distracted, They'll start possibly reading the text and not listening to you, or maybe they're going to look at that picture. It's just distracting. With less text on the slide, you can show your audience that you own the topic. You have a command of it. You are the expert as you tell your story. If you want, you can use presenter notes. Nothing wrong with that. And not all your slides need an image. Very much like this slide right here. So as you use your images to tell your story, use images that enhance understanding. Make sure they are relevant. Use photos, cartoons, charts and graphs are always good. Anything that helps the audience understand what you're trying to tell them. Make sure the images are relevant, and make sure they're powerful. A really good image adds to your story. And make sure that they have high resolution. And always cite your image sources. You want to be academically honest. Like this one to the right, this one's from Pixabay, and that is an active link. You can go to Creative Commons, Wikimedia Commons, Flickr. There's lots of places to get free images. So as we wind down, here are a few more tips for an awesome slides deck. If you want to be a ninja, you should be doing this. Use transition slides to separate the big stages or big ideas within your whole slideshow. What's a transition slide, you ask? Well, a transition slide is that slide that has just the one big piece of text that suggests to the audience, we're moving on to a new topic within my bigger story. Use slide and text transition animations consistently. Don't have things flying left and flying right and spinning and disappearing. Be consistent. It's more professional. Use bolded text just when you want to highlight things that are really important, like, concepts, actions, people. Maybe it's an important year or a place or something like that. Don't bold a whole sentence. And use pointers to highlight things. If something's important and you have a pointer, go for it. And if you can, avoid autoplay. If you're well rehearsed and you can keep up with it, that's fine. But many a time have we seen people use autoplay and they just don't own the story and they can't keep up and they're embarrassed and the audience feels really, really bad for them. And templates. Templates are great. They do have their place, but keep in mind if you use a template, then you're restricted to that, or you have to go in and change all the formatting. It might be best just to create 3 or 4 of your own slides, get it to how you like it, and then you can copy and paste those to make your bigger slide deck. So here's my works cited, my bibliography. Good luck with your slides deck, everybody. Check out the description for a few more resources. Thanks for watching the video. If you're a student or a teacher in subjects like history, geography, government, economics, check out some of the other videos. The mission of this channel is to help students build skills and teachers build their toolkit. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on the web at socialstudiessamurai.com. Hope to see you again.